So it looks like our friend Hovind has decided to tackle a particular subject with whatever last night's stream would be. I know AJ calls in on this one because Claude Balls had uploaded a clip of that, and I was like, oh, can't watch it. I haven't watched the stream and reacted on my end yet. So I guess I'm going to go on and take care of that here today. Yeah, welcome everybody to yet another video where I look at whatever Hovind decided to upload last night. Which, as I just mentioned, is in this case a video titled, let me get this thing playing. No, don't start talking, bastard. Video titled Lactose Tolerance is not an example of a beneficial mutation. Hence my video's title and the formatting of the phrasing. Because it's weird to say, no, it is something. But this is why it starts with no. Oh my god, this is an hour long. I did not realize that. Oh, we're gonna be here a while. We're gonna be here a good long while. Buckle up, everybody. I did not realize what I was in for when I decided to go live. Let's do it.
Good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland and Genesis Baptist Church in lovely Lenox, Alabama. Boy, it was a blast today. Got lots done. We are in, let's see, still taking care of Mr. Simon Dan tonight. He mentioned lactose tolerance.
Oh, Christ. I forgot he was doing Whack an Atheist on Dan again last night, so this is just a continuation of it. You know, at a point, Kent, it gets boring watching you talk about the same people in the way you do. Could you at least pick somebody different? Oh, wait, you can't, because at this stage you target the same 4 or 5 people because it brings in the views.
Is an example of a beneficial mutation. Really? We'll take that apart for you tonight, Dan. Explain it to you in little words that maybe you can understand. We're on a bunch of channels. We're on Facebook.
Ah, condescending prick as ever.
On Rumble, on Twitter, on our app, kenhovind.tv, Instagram, bunch of others. Just
also that damn hexagonal wallpaper from freewallpapers.org.co.dprk or wherever the hell he got it from. Joseph got it from. Way too futuristic for an absolute fucking dinosaur like Kent. Trying to make him look serious here.
Push a button, something will happen. Okay. If you have a gospel singing group, want to come be world famous, well, famous in Lenox anyway, come visit us at Dinosaur Adventureland and be on our show. Monday through Friday, 7 p.m., 10:30 Sunday morning. Call time.
So now you got to be a gospel singing group. You can only be gospel. It can't be anything else.
Extension 5 to schedule a cabin or motorhome hookup spot, and we'll feed you, house you, and give you tours and a love offering. Okay? Duet, triet, four-et, five-et, whatever you got. Now, did you hear those, Joseph? Were you in the dining hall ability when the Amish group was singing? Did you hear them? That Amish, big Amish family, Pennsylvania Dutch, came down from Pennsylvania. Oh man, they could sing. Okay, they stayed for 3 days and loved it. Left this morning. June.
Everyone loves DAL. No one has a bad time at DAL. Why? Dinosaur Adventureland is the happiest place on Earth.
5th. Today is my son Eric's birthday. So let's sing the Dinosaur Adventureland birthday song to Eric Hovind. Ready? 1, 2.
I hate this fucking song. I'm jumping ahead.
You know, they talk about all that pain and all that stuff. I didn't feel nothing. It's a mess, but anyway. Okay. Come join us next month in Kentucky at Noah's Ark, Ken Ham's Noah's Ark Atheist Rally. Going to bring in all the atheists that are willing to come, and we're going to go up there and try to knock some common sense into them, sweetly and Christian love. Dinosaur Adventureland is in Lenox, Alabama, straight north of Pensacola.
Also, don't you love that the audio volume is relatively low? Again, they couldn't keep it consistent between yesterday and today. It amazes me how every single day some key element of the broadcast just completely fucks up. Never fails.
We have 140.
Usually the audio. It's either too high, too low, unbalanced, too balanced. I don't know.
Acres, 17 lakes and ponds to swim in. Be sure to get my February 1st letter, the open letter to Donald Trump. Joseph, who was the lady on the show I did today?
Michelle Moore.
Michelle Moore.
Yeah.
If you have, If you know anybody that has a podcast would like to have me on as a guest, I'd be thrilled. I could do 4 or 5 a day.
Oh. Oh, Kent. Kent. You want to be a guest on my podcast? Do you really, Kent? Do you really? Because podcast can be defined very loosely. Looser than just about any kind of internet terminology. I was going to make a joke there, but I decided against it. I have some decency. Kent, get in touch sometime. Have a special episode just for you. I'll invite some friends. We'll have a real nice conversation.
I like to get on somebody else's podcast, bring them a lot of viewers. Call Joseph, 855 Big Dino, extension 4, and book me for a podcast. I'll do 4 or 5 a day. Okay. You can help us stay open for free. Join our 777 Club. Call 855 Big Dino, extension 1. If you have any questions, talk to the secretaries. Let's see, there's our Dr. Dino. Over 9 years now we've been open. Okay, Whack an Atheist Wednesday. Fun game we play here at DAL.
At the time of this stream, it was Thursday, Kent, you fucking idiot. Also, whack, whack, whack. Whack, whack, whack. Whack your friend. Whack your friend.
Based on the whack-a-mole game. Okay? There's Dan tonight again. In the whack-a-mole game, the object is to wait till the mole sticks his head up and whack him back down. Adults love to play it. I enjoyed the one time I played it. It was fun. Okay. We wait for an atheist or evolutionist to stick their head up, make a silly claim that their evolution religion is true, and then sweetly and swiftly whack them back down with real science. In Christian love, of course. So many atheists, so little time. The winner tonight, Simon Dan, again. We're not going to whack him. Last night we said about the exciting news. We don't have to whack him anymore. He saw the light. Actually, I just wrote the letter for him. Dan, please. Do what it says, sign it, send it back, okay? And Dan has done many. How many did you count up, Joseph? How many shows has he done on me?
I'm doing okay, but I swear the video just went plop. At least Restream kind of choked there.
Over 20 just in his Tinfoil Tuesday playlist.
Over 20 just in his Tinfoil Tuesday playlist, okay? Creationist takes on a scientific legend. Ooh, Dan's not going to allow that. Let's see. Here we go. 4.
Yep. Words he said in my very Discord. We can't be having that.
Her science teacher does it.
It's funny, Kent, and I didn't mean for this to be the case, but it just kind of happened because of the fervor with which I go into things when I enjoy them. But a whole lot of what goes on recently in your connection with the rest of cyberspace has somewhere to do with me. Now, that's just me being a piece of the, one would think of it almost like a bush that is me, AJ, Big Bad Mama Claude, you know, all the modern Hovindo watchers. But it's interesting how, because of my constant availability, my ever readiness if someone, reaches out to me in some way to try to provide info when I can, that Dan just happens to pop up in my server and ask, hey, where's Kim been putting videos lately? And I've got the link ready and waiting, since it's the first thing that comes up in all my browsers if I type in Kent. That's just by the nature of the way browsers work. Don't get an ego. I don't have you favorited or anything. Far from it. I'm just going to take a moment to stroke my ego on that one. Because that last video about Carl Sagan that Dan did, that video exists specifically because of me. Which, I'm not taking credit for per se. It's just a matter of I sped the process along. I was the one who directed Dan. So he made that video about you because I presented the fact that you had made that video to him. And I'm just gonna eat that. Just love the fact that I'm a perpetual thorn in your side. One that you can't address. One that you can't talk about. because I care more about speaking my mind than I do about placating YouTube's terms of service. And I don't want to go all out and violate everything here, there, and everywhere. And I've got a certain level of decency, certain level of reservation, and certainly some humanity, but not so much when it comes to you. And at least these interactions, where I'll be far more savage than I necessarily would in real life. Because words, in the end, are semi harmless. You can take offense to stuff, but that's about as far as it goes. But that's also as far as anything I do goes, is saying things. But it's things that resonate with people. Things that I've already been told have helped people get over trauma from religious upbringings. And apparently, at least one person, I'm one of the people helping them escape from your kind of indoctrination, like actively. This isn't just after the fact people doing healing. This is someone who's actively escaping this stuff. So I'm doing far more good, even through just that one person, than you've ever done to anybody. Why did I start this rant again, this little rambling? Oh yeah, I was feeding my ego for once. A rare thing. Let's keep going though.
Doesn't know any science, Dan says. Well, Dan, then debate me. Call it in, bud. Let's see. Challenging an evolution denier. Look at the way they word that. We know it's true and Kent denies it. No, there's no evidence for it. And denier is unpopular. I'm on Whack an Atheist again. You don't want to visit this Creation Science Center. Simon Dan said. He's never done it. But he tells other people, don't go there. You've never been here, Dan. You don't know what goes on. Okay?
Oh, we know exactly what goes on there, Kent. We know.
Evolution denier tries to debunk Google. Creationists attack Carl Pagan. Whoa, okay. Protected from a creationist whacking. Me getting whacked. Simon. Take on the biggest evolution denier on YouTube. Wow. All lies. Let's see. Even creepy blind man gets in here. Fails to debunk Simon Dan again. Not happy. Tonight, we'll continue tearing down the wall of evidence the evolutionists have built. We'll tear down this wall brick by brick. Tonight's brick is the lie that lactose tolerance mutation is beneficial and helps explain how an amoeba turned to a whale and a human. So Dan has all lies. Dan, I do not believe all the science books are all lies. I've never said such a stupid thing. Why would you lie about me like that? I love.
Yeah, Deviant, the links are working okay on my end, so I don't know if, and I'm not even trying to be funny with this, I don't know if it's just some facet of you being in Sweden or something. I legitimately have no clue. Because the code is good. I had checked it before I started the stream. That's actually why it was delayed. Which, on that note, let me get said code. Copy. Because for those who don't know, Ambushed Apostate and I are working on getting a place out here because he wants to get out of his region and I need to be in a new place my own self for us to both be able to focus on more elaborate projects. So if you want to help out with the initial expenses of that, scan that QR code and hopefully it'll work for you, or hit the link I put in the chat. And as Deviant and Soot both suggested, I will try to pin that to the link in the description, or not the description of the video, as a pinned comment. Let me see if this works on my end. It goes through Restream. Yeah, it redirects to GoFundMe just fine, so it works for me. Eventually took me to the GoFundMe. Very good. Yeah, some stuff can be very fiddly, all the rerouting and stuff. The fact that the internet works at all is a miracle. Just it is insane that, well, more correctly, the World Wide Web, that it works. It is such a hodgepodge of crap.
Love science.
Kind of like Hovind, who doesn't love science at all.
There's lots of science in the science books. I taught earth science, physical science, biology for 15 years. I think I can hold my own on.
Hey, it's AJ. What's up, buddy? We're going to see you here in a little bit. And AJ, in case for whatever reason you didn't catch the news, I'll share that link again. In Wichita State trying to get a place. God damn it, AJ being AJ being jelly. Hey, if it's any consolation, he only popped up in the Discord to initially join and that one time ask about where Hoven's putting videos. He's not kidding when he said he's not active on Discord at all, and he and I have had no conversation outside of like that moment and the few stream chats. Partly because for some reason none of my comments ever get anything on his they never go anywhere on his videos. God, I can't speak today. It was a rough day. This whole week has been super rough. Also, we were 45 hours over on hours spent at work in my department. Not my problem. But yeah, that's a whole person and some change of hours that were not allocated. People got chewed out. Not me, though. Means I got to leave early. But yeah, I don't know. My comments never get any love on Simandan videos. It's like I'm shadow banned there. So yeah, no, I probably should message him on Instagram or something. Maybe see if he hits me up that way. Super chat from Kilted Camera. Seriously, my vision's getting worse. I've really got to go do something about this. But I need the spare scratch to get the eye exam done and everything. $9.99, no comment though. But thank you so very much.
Discussion on as far as who knows what on those topics against anybody. But there's some poison mixed in with the science. That's all, Dan. I just want the poison out of the book. Not happy, he says. Not happy. I'm real happy, Dan. Let's play a little bit of what Dan says. And let's see right here.
Yeah, Otaku. I mean, I understand completely. And yeah, always remember, if you can't donate, and we understand that is definitely the norm, but you want to help, share it. Share it as far as you can. Push it out there in any little side niches of the community. Don't go spamming everything, but if you think people might want to help such a cause, definitely give it a share. It helps. It helps. Everything helps.
He says, I'm not happy. Oh, Dan.
Kent, you are truly one of the most miserable people I've ever seen. It's obvious in every behavior you have, you're having to fake happiness. Also, holy fuck, you're red, dude. The fucking Soviet flag is less red than you, and I'm not even joking about that. Holy shit, Kent. Get out of the sun.
Like a mass expansion. But let's move on to your next lie, Kent.
Okay, here we go. Textbook says, mutations are the original source of variations in populations, as shown in the many varieties of roses.
I mean, look at this. Compare Kent in Dan's video to this thing over here, this boiled lobster of a human. This is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Argue how many, but I think 300 to 350 varieties of roses. I agree. They might have had a common ancestor. Anybody want to guess what it was? Frog. Yep.
Ignoring Kent's flippancy there, you can actually trace all modern roses to a small selection of wild roses that have evolved over hundreds of millions of years.
No, a rose.
You already played this part, Kent.
Yeah, okay. This is line number 2. Mutations are not going to cause evolution. They only scramble existing code.
Mutations are a crucial element at generating genetic diversity, which is the raw material of evolution.
I know you guys believe that, and you that's your mantra. You say it, that's your script. You say it over and over. Mutations provide new information. Dan, you're dreaming, okay? Somebody lied to you and they taught you that, and you swallowed the lie, and now you're passing it on to others. Stop. We're going to handle this tight. Go ahead, keep talking.
I mean, I'm not saying 855 Big Dino Extension 3 should be flooded with people playing a certain audio clip. I would never condone anything like that. But I also ain't the boss of anybody. I had to make that clear at work today. I ain't your boss. You don't report to me. It was the opposite. I report to them. Not even kidding. That's how it went. It's like, You don't need to tell me what you're doing. I'm only supposed to tell you what I'm doing. Anyway, yeah. Um, not saying call in and play that audio, but that would be pretty fucking funny if someone did. A nice prank.
From merely scrambling existing code, mutations contribute to the dynamic and ongoing process of evolution, allowing organisms to adapt to their environment and ultimately driving the diversity of life on Earth.
Evolution is based on several faulty assumptions. Mutations make something better. That's never been seen.
Young Earth creationism is based on several faulty assumptions. One, the Bible is right about anything. Done.
Well, it has. One such example is in us, humans. The lactose tolerance mutation means that a lot of us can digest lactose into adulthood. Most mammals lose ability to digest lactose after weaning. That is making something better.
And natural selection makes it survive and take over the population. That's never been seen.
That lactose tolerance mutation has arisen independently in different populations, a phenomenon called convergent evolution.
For what it's worth, AJ, that song's now stuck in my head. It's a good one to have stuck in there. Really enjoyed that back in the day. I still like the song.
Individuals with the lactase persistent mutation had higher reproductive success in dairy farming cultures.
So the lactose tolerance mutation makes them have higher reproductive success. They have more babies. So if you like milk, you have more babies. Let's talk about that for a minute here, Dan. Let's go back and unscramble what he just said here.
Yeah, Seth, I'm going to have an ego this stream, so if you don't like that, and I mean that to everyone, not you, Seth, but if anyone in the audience doesn't like that, let me have this moment of me being incredibly confident and downright cocky. It doesn't happen very often. As you say, Kent's blood pressure gets up when Dan's talking. I can only imagine how Kent would look at the end of a conversation with me. Now, I might completely fumble everything, but if I was to debate, in quotes, this clown, and I was in the zone that day, I'd have him crying. Want to prove me wrong, Kent? Have your goons get in touch. We'll schedule something, but you've got to get off your lazy ass and put in the work.
Let's see. Right here. They scramble existing code and are a crucial element in generating diversity.
Hey, that's YouTube doing that with regards to the stream stuff. I thought I toggled that, but I guess it isn't toggled because YouTube just hates me. So I'll go back and fix that. Make sure it's a default. Fucking YouTube always pissing me off.
Which is the raw material of evolution, far from merely scrambling information. Let's see. The dynamic and ongoing process of evolution, allowing organisms to, I forget what he said, might have missed a slide in here. One such example is in the us humans, the lactose tolerance mutation. Means that a lot of us can digest lactose, like milk, into adulthood.
Lactose, like milk. Oh, Kent, you have no idea what you're talking about. Milk contains lactose. That particular type of sugar is one of the things that kind of make milk what it is. It's kind of a diagnostic trait of it, or something to that effect. Those words convey an idea that I think portrays the concept accurately. That's the whole point, though, is us not getting sick as fuck from drinking it or from consuming it in reasonable quantities, not just a tad here or there. And some people can't even do that.
Most mammals lose this after weaning. That is making something better, he said. Lactose persistent mutation.
It's not making something better or worse. It's a change. It's a change that has shown to be beneficial in an environment, in a situation. That's all that matters when it comes to evolution. That's all there has to be, and that's all it is. Your constant ideas of some arbitrary or absolute better or worse are beyond childish. It's none of that.
had higher reproductive success in dairy farming areas. Well, let's talk about that, Dan. Try to explain it to you in small words here. What percentage of mutations are harmful or fatal?
Loads of shit. All you got right here, Kent. You're going to say your same old crap over and over that you just said last night, but you don't even remember you said it last night, do you? How your followers at that cult don't just decide to get up and leave. Oh, right. Their lives are so shit. You're all they've got. Pretty easy when everyone who surrounds you is pathetic as fuck. By the way, speaking of pathetic as fuck, where's Grantham and Jessica? I still haven't forgotten them. They should be back by now. It's been well over 3 months, Kent. But they're not coming back, are they? Oh, no, no, no. After they lost custody of their child and then it finally went to Mobile to get them back and get a house up there, they aren't coming back to DAL. And I'm not going to say one way or the other what the hell may or may not have happened to them. I will say that if you check Mobile's police records, something may or may not show up. And I'm not saying that as like a euphemism for something. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if something doesn't come up if you search them. But that's neither here nor there. The fact is, they sure as hell ain't coming back down to bumfuck Alabama. The bumfuck part of Alabama. Just to hang around with your stupid ass and bring a child to a place they know fucking pedos are invited to.
90% of DNA is non-functional. That's what they used to teach. There's way less than that now. Now they just didn't know the function. Mutations in this portion generally have no effect.
Yep, I am pretty dang lactose tolerant. Sometimes it doesn't go so well for me. So I guess it depends on something particular. I might not end up under certain conditions producing the enzyme or what have you. But most of the time I'm good, and it never makes me like deathly ill. Sometimes it just doesn't digest well, I guess. That's the best way I can phrase it. Kent's going to intentionally misread what's on screen and claim 999 out of 1,000 mutations are bad. Yeah, let's actually read what Kent actually has here. According to research, about 90% of DNA is non-functional, and mutations in this portion generally have no effect. The remaining 10% of DNA is functional and can influence the properties of an organism. Of the mutations in this functional DNA, probably less than half are neutral, and 999 out of 1,000 of the remaining mutations are harmful or fatal. In humans, the rate of mutation is about 1 in 10 to the 8th per base pair per generation, leading to around 35 mutations per generation per individual. Assuming that 9 out of 10 of these mutations occur in non-functional parts of the DNA, and that the remaining possibly half are neutral, this leads to about 1.75 harmful or fatal mutations per generation per individual. Wow, that's it. That's it. 2 mutations that might be detrimental. Wow.
The remaining 10% of
And guess what happens with those that are outright fatal, Kent? And lots of those
DNA?
that are detrimental. They don't get passed on. System kind of stops itself. I mean, if you're born with a fatal defect, like a damn hole in your heart, and it's before, medical science was able to fix such things, you probably didn't make it very long.
is functional and can influence the properties of an organism. Of the mutations in this functional DNA, probably less than half are neutral, and 999 out of 1,000 of the remaining mutations are harmful or fatal. So, Dan, you're counting on a 1/10 of 1% that might be beneficial? Yeah, you believe it. You got great faith.
You gonna go to that second paragraph there, buddy? Or does the big number right here scare you?
Great faith. It's in the wrong thing, but you have great faith, okay?
I mean, it's not that big of a number. 1 to the 8th, so 1. Wait, I was typing 8. And that's the number. It isn't that big. 100,000. That's 100 million. Rate mutations is about 1. Oh, that's minus 8. Sorry, hang on. Let me try this again. There you go. There's the number. There's the number. There's the number. unless I'm off by a bit. If Nubifire was here, they could back me up, but I think that's correct. The 8 zeros following the decimal, then the 1. It's the same way when you reverse it, except you want the front decimal. I would do it internationally, but I don't know if that would end up being formatted weird or not, because it gets weird when you have a comma in place of the decimal. That's one thing about the US system, is it's all the decimals. It's just standardized here. And I ain't trying to be funny with it. It's just all the jokes about metric, but then you got all those weird formattings used in other countries, and it's like, ah.
The rate of mutation is 1 times 10 to the negative 8th. That ain't much. Base pair per generation. Okay. Beneficial mutations in humans. Now that we understand what beneficial mutations are in genetic.
Yes, Moors. Soot and Deviant suggested that I pin it as a part of the video, pin it as a comment, and I think I'll do that. Most definitely.
Level, let's dig deeper, dig deeper and discover some beneficial mutations. First one they list, lactose tolerance. See, most babies, after they get weaned, whatever animal it is, they don't drink milk after that.
Yes, Dan explained that already. Move on, old man.
Humans do.
Humans can, not do. Some humans can, not do. You'll notice that the presence of it is tied to having an ethnic background that involves living in area, having descended from peoples that did dairy farming. Kind of proved handy. Hey, I have another source of nutrients. And milk's a pretty damn good source of a lot of things people need. Kinda works out.
Lactose intolerance is a condition that makes it difficult to digest lactose, a sugar found in.
It was you or Deviant One. I don't know. Y'all had a bunch of comments. Y'all had a couple of comments pop up at the same time. I saw them while I was at work, and then I had to move on and continue working, so I could be mixed up.
In milk and several dairy.
Just pretend you did. Take credit.
Products. Normally broken down.
Maybe it was S'mores who said it, and I mixed you two up. I don't know.
By an enzyme called lactase, which is produced by cells in the lining of the small intestine. I meant to bring my half-gallon jug of half and half. I don't drink milk. I drink half and half. The real stuff. It never says on there half and half what? Half what? Half what? Doesn't say. Anyway.
The fuck are you on about, Kent? You know what? I don't care. You just do these meanderings. At least I somehow make my meanderings work. And I'm very self-conscious about my meanderings and my ramblings and my tangents. But apparently I've gotten better at them. But simultaneously, my audience seems to want me to do more of them. So I'm conflicted. Do I stay on topic and make the videos as concise as possible? Or do I ramble on like a fucking idiot for 30 minutes about something that doesn't matter? Either way, I'm still going to be infinitely more entertaining and informative than you could have ever been at your prime. Which I need to remind you was 20 plus years ago, Kent.
The evolution of lactose tolerance in humans explained. Science bulletins, new lactose tolerance mutation found. The evolution of lactose tolerance. This is the
Okay, and yeah, it was Deviant who put the comment that I should pin the GoFundMe in the comments, and then Soot, you had commented about the giveaway, instant giveaway with the mail from Dan. This happens when you have all of 5 seconds to look at things in between customers.
a big thing in the evolution religion as part of their evidence for beneficial mutations. Understanding evolution. Got lactase? In the US and many other countries, we've certainly got milk, but not everyone can enjoy it. For around 10% of Americans and 10% of Africa's Tutsi tribe, 50% of Spanish and French people, 99% of Chinese, a tall, cold glass of milk means an upset stomach and other unpleasant digestive side effects. In fact, most adults in the world are lactose intolerant. Let's see. Lactose tolerance.
Most adults are lactose intolerant, huh? It's almost as if Kent's brain is trying to process this information and he learns something, but he consciously won't allow it.
In adults is due to a genetic mutation that allows the continued production of lactase, the enzyme necessary to digest lactose, into adulthood. So most people have a switch After you get weaned off your mother, it switches off and you can no longer tolerate lactose.
Not exactly, no. At the point when you're eating other foods, it's primed to stop producing the lactase. It's not determinant on the weaning status, though, which is kind of where the mutation, it's kind of how it works. It just doesn't turn off. That's really it. And for some people, it happens at a random point in their life. They might be fine till they're 6, 7, 8 drinking milk, and then all of a sudden, nope, game over. It just trips when they want to. I went to school with people where that happened. They got sick from milk after that point, after a certain point. But your cause and effect relation there is fundamentally wrong. And again, if you were a teacher for as many years as you were about so many subjects, you would be more refined as to not use such a statement where the cause and effect relation is just plain wrong. Because in teaching, you try to be as accurate as possible. At least I would hope so. Now, I've had some terrible teachers in my time in school, but I also had some amazing ones. Many of them helped sharpen the way I articulate myself. Granted, they can never get rid of the bombastic craziness, but they helped. And that's part of why I strive for accuracy, because the good teachers, they tried to make sure that I understood the value of that. Too bad the rest of the world didn't get that memo. You sure as hell didn't.
But some people, that switch is broken, it keeps going. Let's see. The mutation that enables lactose tolerance is characterized by a single nucleotide. Let's see. This change creates new binding sites for transcription factors.
Yeah, it did, and now it's starting to get redder again. His blood pressure is going crazy. Let me tell you, if he actually truly strokes out on stream, that's going to be something.
Which prevent the downregulation of lactase production after infancy. Notice, this mutation is simply switching off a gene. A gene that normally would work, the switch is broken. It doesn't switch it off, so you can keep drinking milk. Oh.
Yep. What's your point?
It's not creating any new information, Dan.
Oh, that's it, because it has to be information. Fucking relevant, Kent. That is a pointless creationist straw man set up time and time again to discredit most mutations when they're isolated. Since a lot of times that's all they are. Us being so damn smart is heavily tied to a defect that causes us to have small jaws as compared to other apes. Less muscle mass in the jaw. Smaller brow ridges, lack thereof pretty much, because there doesn't need to be as much bone for the muscle tissue to anchor to, which allowed us to have a larger cranial size. The actual brain could get bigger. And oh, did it get bigger? It's kind of amazing thinking that a lot of what makes Homo sapien is tied to a couple of defective ape genes. But made us what we are. It's beautiful, really. Far better than Dirt Man and Rib Woman story. And all the other garbage in there. But you can't appreciate reality. It's not that you don't see the forest for the trees. Your forest is on blue light special at Kmart for $4.99, and you only got $3.50.
The switch was already there. Doesn't create anything new. Right? I don't know how don't they get it, Joseph?
Yeah, we're going to be getting to that soon enough. This video is a damn hour long, but hey, it looks like from what Claude had uploaded, we get a whole 20 minutes of you in there, AJ, so that's going to be fucking awesome.
It's like claiming that someone forgot to turn off the light. Therefore, nobody created the light. Nobody.
Hey, Kent. Hey, Kent. Here's an analogy. Okay, Let's say you got two ships, right? It's World War II, and one of them, the lights burned out. The other light, light in the wheelhouse works. Whatever. Just a hypothetical. The one that's burned out ain't getting lit up. It's dark in there. Germans ain't seeing them. They're sure as hell seeing the one where the light's on. Yeah, the light broke, but that saved the ship. Is this a strong analogy? Not really, but it gives the idea of, hey, something that can be seen as something going wrong ends up being good. In fact, that's what happens a lot of times. A lot of inventions were something going wrong in what was originally planned, and then the side product turned out to be useful. Evolution's kind of the same way, because all that matters is that it has an adaptation advantage in some way. That's what determines whether it's beneficial or not. But you don't get that, you won't get that, you can't get that, because your entire life is built around lying. And it's so fucking sad. And if you just realized you were wrong and were like, oh, I'm sorry, it wouldn't be an issue. But you've doubled down and tripled down time and time and time and time again. To a point where we have no sympathy. We have no empathy. We're going to call you out because at this point, all you can be is intentionally lying to keep up the obvious grift. So we're going to call you out on it. And as a fact, unrelated to how wrong you are with science, but related to how you are as a person from what we've seen firsthand in your own content, you're also a fucking asshole who needs to go back to jail. That's not an ad hominem. I'm just calling you a fucking asshole and needs to go back to jail. Inmate 0645 2017.
Nobody made the switch. Nobody made the wiring. Nobody made the complex electrical system in the house or the city just because somebody forgot to shut the light off. This is not an example of a beneficial mutation, Dan. Calves can digest milk. As they grow, there's a genetic code to switch off their ability to digest milk. If that switch is broken,
it's true, Mark. If I, you look at it, it's like a configuration file in my XMPP server. If I toggle something to true and it was false and I save it, it's new information. Toggle it back to false, still wants to save, it's new information. It qualifies. Otherwise, it wouldn't be asking me to save the document. Oh, information's changed. Huh. I mean, again, being super stupid here because, I'm fucking tired from work. That's my excuse, and I'm going to roll with it. But, it's just like, damn. Well, Deviant and Soot are picking out on Cake. Killed the camera, exactly. Like his daddy getting sick and not going out on patrol. That was a beneficial event.
they can continue to digest.
Also, let's just take it all in that what we basically have here is a Christian preacher, in quotes, doing a video where he happens to show an animal sucking on a teat. Sadly, given the allegations of Kent's browser history, this might get him going more than... Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that.
Digest lactose. This is not adding new information. Kittens can digest milk. As they grow, there's a genetic code to switch off their ability. If the switch is broken, they can...
Kent, you're just repeating yourself. This is a common trait to mammals. You don't have to freaking explain it 1,000 times. Also, holy fuck, look at that litter. You got a little bit of everything from a gray tabby. There's I would say there's no fucking way. But, I mean, cat color genetics is crazy, but goddamn, that's got to be multiple different daddies.
Continue to digest.
Multiple different daddies. One of them stayed home from his only platoon during the cat dog wars. You know why that made them all dogs go to heaven? Because it was a species cleansing. The cats were going to take out the dogs. Don't worry. Those cats no longer exist. They've been they're no longer cat Nazis.
Digest lactose. This is not adding new information. I don't know how they don't get it. Puppies can do that. Puppies can digest milk, and if there's...
Wow, Kent. It's almost as if they're all mammals. It's a mammal thing, you fucking idiot. This is another reason we know you're not a teacher. You can't just. You taught maths, you'll understand this. You can't just take everything down to the lowest common denominator, i.e., the trait that is common between all of these. They're mammals. That's kind of a diagnostic trait of mammals, is the whole mammary gland milk affair. It's kind of how it works. One of the key ones in the name. There's others for all that jazz. External ears, which is funny because some animals don't have them anymore, but that's neither here nor there. Uh, technically, they kind of do, but kind of don't. Depends on how you want to look at things. Dolphins and like whales. Still, I'm just meandering. Get to the point, old man. The vast majority of your videos is just you repeating yourself. Stupidly repeating yourself. And it gets old.
Switch is broken, they could keep drinking all through their life, okay? Baby giraffes drink milk. Just in case you don't know all this, Dan, I'm trying to help you, okay? They also have if the switch is broken.
Round, round, get around. Mom got around. Kent. No comment.
Baby giraffes can digest milk. As they grow, there's a genetic code to shut it off.
Yes, they're mammals.
They no longer want the milk anymore. Baby hamsters drink milk. I used to raise hamsters and sell them to pet stores when I was a kid. That was my first business and enterprise.
Did you have a license there, Kenty? Or do you not pay those business licenses either?
Hamster. Boy, can they have the babies, whole bunch at a time, okay?
Yes, because they're an R-type breeder. There's generally two types of breeding. R-type and K-type. R-type have a whole fucking lot of them, generally independent from the get-go or otherwise independent enough, so to speak, or in one way or another have a bunch of them so that not all will survive, but some will. Then there's your K-type. Have few, if maybe only one offspring, but really focus on that one. That happens more with more social animals and prominent in apes, humans especially. And a lot of your smarter creatures tend to go that route. That's my cursory understanding of it from what my ex had taught me. Yeah. So acting surprised that, I can have a lot of babies. Yeah, they're an R-type. That's how it works. That's also where the game gets its name from. That's how I can remember it so well.
And they can drink milk. If the switch is broken, they can continue to digest lactose, but that's not any new information. It's the loss of information, Dan. Baby elephants drink milk.
Yeah, I think he is going to go through every single goddamn mammal that exists. All 3,000 of them, or however many it is.
If the switch is broken, they can continue to drink milk. It's not new information. It's the same. It's just a broken switch. Baby elephant seals can drink milk. If the switch is broken, again, it's not adding information. Lactose intolerance, digesting dairy as an adult.
I know we all know this, but I just want to point out that his entire thing with these slides is to just bombard people with random statistics and make it look like he has a damn clue what anything actually means. Especially when he fucking lies about stuff like he does in the 999 out of 1,000 are harmful, harmful or fatal. He just does this for 20 minutes at a time and then goes back to the video thinking he said something. You complain about people about wanting to dazzle people with big words when it's just using the accurate terms to describe what's being discussed. But then you do this number, this song and dance. Christ, Kent. Your sheet of glass transparent, you dumb fuck.
What do they say about here? Encode lactase enzyme that breaks down lactose. A common genetic variant causes lactase to not be produced for adults. Lactose that isn't broken down by lactase goes into the intestines and feeds on gut.
Yeah, let's go, Carney. That's a subject I know nothing about. but would be interested in hearing an expert talk about and then try to hear Hovind address. No, that's not new information. That'd probably be his go-to if I had to take a wild guess.
Bacteria producing intestinal discomfort, make you sick to your stomach. Okay.
Also, Kent, for an English teacher, I'm surprised you don't know that it's sick at your stomach, not to your stomach. That's a perversion of it that's pretty common. And I had a very pedantic English teacher about that who explained why it's wrong and showed the origin. It's kind of the same reason I reversed the whole, I can't even remember which way people say wrong now, the have your cake and eat it, to eat your cake and have it, since that's the more correct way to say it. And also, it's a little cheeky nod to the Unabomber. More you know.
Caucasians, 90% produce lactase as adults, so we can still drink the milk. Huh. Do any of you have lactose intolerance? Any of you here? You do, just one, okay? Asian populations, up to
Yeah, the fact that AJ calls in is the reason I'm doing this and doing it today. Otherwise, I was going to rest. I didn't realize this was an hour long, so we're going to be here a while. Which reminds me, as you all should be aware, if you're not though, got a little GoFundMe up in the corner. You can scan the QR code or hit this link coming up in the chat to help with me and Ambushed Apostate getting a place so we can tag team on some incredible projects and just get a fresh start in a lot of stuff. Because me and my buddy, we need things to change. So you're doing us a solid. I don't know how to advertise this damn GoFundMe. I'm going to need to have AI write something for me because I suck at this.
99% do not produce lactase. So
Remember, rate of replication versus the capability with a K of the parents to look after the kids. Damn good way to think about it. Damn good way. R-type versus K-type.
99% of Asians are lactose intolerant. Lactase persistent mutation had higher reproductive success.
Thing is, Seth, that a wall is nothing but layer upon layer of caked on shit. But it's okay. All the layers of caked on shit are the same age.
In dairy farming. Dan, are you saying Asian people don't know how to have babies? Or have a lower reproductive success?
I'm gonna say the word, so I apologize in advance if this offends anybody. Kent, you're a motherfucking goddamn retard, you fucking inbred piece of shit. Fucking negative IQ having ass. The ability to digest lactose into adulthood is beneficial in an environment, in a culture where cattle are prevalent, a mammal, a commonly domesticated mammal that also produces milk. Well, all mammals produce milk, but that produces milk that we can and do drink. This has been a thing with me for a while, actually, is I've always wondered who was the first person. And I know this is silly to ask, but there had to be a first person who was like, yep, I'm going to drink this milk from the cow. Who the fuck decided that was a good idea? Someone who's obviously very fucking thirsty. And of course, shit probably tasted terrible and got him sick. You know, but at some point we put two and two together. You know, I think that's more interesting than the people who invented cheese, who left some milk sitting. Why did it just jump back? Jesus. Fucking internet is cursed. Anyway, cheese, you know, people left milk out for a while, forgot about it, came back, and it's like, hey, this milk is solid. Let's eat it anyway. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with them breeding or not breeding. It has everything to do with providing a survival benefit. And naturally, those people who could drink the milk during situations where there were fewer resources available, otherwise, if milk was still plentiful, they were getting nutrients they desperately needed. So the gene would carry on. Like, here's another fun one, Kent. A lot of people of European descent are immune to bubonic plague because we're descended from those who fucking survived it. As in, they didn't get sick because they had an immunity. And since it wiped out a lot of the people who weren't immune, there you go. You got us. Now, let me get back to where Kent was, because for some reason this thing just jumped ahead. Good enough.
Well, at least when we're adults. All juvenile animals can drink milk, and that's because they have enzyme is that those people can drink milk. Let's see. Human milk abnormality. Lactose cannot.
Are we past where he talks about the stuff, or are we still ahead of it? Because I can't even remember. Doesn't really matter. It's Hovand.
The genetic code has changed, but because DNA is chemically modified so that the lactase gene is switched off. Lactose tolerance in the world.
Yeah, thank you, Zumi. That's exactly it. It is eat your cake and have it too, because after you've eaten, you can no longer have it. Yeah, and people say it backwards.
Boy, they don't have much in Europe, where I'm from. Norwegians, they can tolerate it. Let me help you, Dan. If a light switch stops working, the toggle is broken, the contact is burned, there's a loose wire, the spring is broken. That is not adding new information. Just for you, Dan. What did I do? Oh, here we go. I took one of the light switches from our shop, drilled out the rivets, and took it so you can see it, how it works internally. My dad was electrical engineer at Cat.
I think Dan knows how a light switch works, and your dad wasn't electrical engineer. He was an electrical engineer. Participles exist for a reason, you dumb fuck, or whatever the hell part of speech that is. English is hard.
Caterpillar Tractor Company. He taught us boys, we would take things apart. Here's how it works. Oh, okay. Inside, Dan, there are several different components that can go bad.
Hey, look, it's the good Nimrod, Dr. Nimrod, as opposed to this Nimrod we got on screen. Not a Dr. Hovand.
The contacts can get corroded and not make contact. There's a little spring in here, a little switch goes back and forth. When you flip the toggle, it's moving something. If the switch is broken, that is not adding new information. So there's a switch that is broken that allows people to continue digesting milk. They already had the ability to digest milk when they're born, okay? They already had it. They just forgot to shut it off. So notice, this mutation is simply not switching off a gene.
I would just like to say thanks to everybody for when we have weird little fuck-ups like that jump earlier, no one giving me shit over it. I don't even know where that came from. I think if you look, my mouse was nowhere even near that area, and I didn't hit the keyboard, so unless my keyboard's misfiring, because this thing's a little broken. Chris needs a new everything. I just want to thank y'all for not, just laying into me for shit like that.
It is not creating any new information. The switch was already there. Dan, you are dreaming if you think lactose tolerance is a mutation that is going to help you turn an amoeba to a whale. He said one such example in us humans.
Fascinating regarding the AMY genes. I have to look into that more. Because starches, bread and all that. Sorry, I just had a little mind-blown moment there. Started thinking about animals, their capacities to eat breads and the like, versus not.
Is the lactose tolerance mutation. A lot of us can digest lactose into adulthood. Most mammals lose it. He says, not happy. Oh, Dan, I'm happy. I love whacking you to try to help you see the light and turn to the
Gay! Sorry, had to.
Lord. I'm very happy. Ask any of our staff. Am I happy most of the time?
Hell no.
I enjoy life. Yeah, I've had just about everything.
No, you don't. You're a miserable piece of shit.
Everything you can imagine happened to me bad. Just about all the folks I've loved all my life have stabbed me in the back and stolen from me and done things to me.
Oh, boo fucking who, Kent. Boo fucking who. Let me tell you about some of the shit I've been through.
Still happy, okay? At 9:33, Dan said he would debate me one time. Let's go.
It ain't me. Kent's just frozen there. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, thanks, Nimrod. I'm not the only one tech happens to, but I take this shit personally. I take pride in my work, and I'm constantly disappointed in myself. And wow, this is still frozen. There we go. Oh man, it straight crashed on them. Oh, Poland sour cream is often a condiment. Interesting. We already know way too much about your whacking references, Kent. Well, this is quite beautiful, isn't it? Just loving it. Let's jump on to oh, here we go. Here we go. They're back. A dinosaur story. And he just kept on going. No one told Kent, "Hey, dude, we're not streaming."
Minutes. I can read it there. Okay, Dan. There. I like that look on his face.
I'm on there.
Wade the Wizard. No telling what he's related to. A snail is what he said. Okay. Luca is related to a cow.
That little thing is absolutely creepy as fuck. And also, yes, I just realized I accidentally had hot mic for a moment. Oh well.
Ken Rock related to a turtle. They've said this in the debates I've had with them. And I'll debate you all again, guys. Anytime. Anytime.
It's all the people he's debated. Fair enough. Maybe I should try phoning him now. What's the time?
Now watch this now. He's going to say he will debate me. Go ahead.
Over there. It's not even 7 a.m. over there. He won't like that call, but I will do it one time.
There's no scientific evidence.
Aw. See, everyone at least has a desire somewhere to do one just because it's almost like a rite of passage. And that's not a compliment. It's just that you're the Glass Joe of Debate Me, Bro. Hey, that rhymed. About damn time. Yo! Anyway. I was about to do something super cringy. God, Kent Hovind rapping. He's gonna have a big dinosaur clock that just measures out 6,000 years. Baseball cap sideways. His sidekick's gonna be fucking G-Man. Give him some street cred. MC Hovind. As opposed to AJ's young Hovind, which is actually a competent rapper. Fuck. I'm sorry. I'm laughing too goddamn much at my own jokes. Oh, man. What was I saying before I thought about Hovind rapping? I don't know. Fuck you, Kent.
To mutation, support evolution.
Say he will do it one time. He'll debate me one time. So.
Oh, yeah. Debating Kent is a rite of passage because you're the fucking Glass Joe of internet debate bros. You're a cheap whore. You'll take on anybody, but they have to do it on your terms. Tough shit, old man.
Dan, I'll go back to my PowerPoint here.
Yep, because you're nothing without your goddamn PowerPoint presentation.
9 minutes and 33 seconds. You said you would debate me one time. Are you a man of your word? Call Joe.
Oh, no, Kent, are you? Are you? Because it's been a while since you told Sergio to get in contact. Does Sergio even exist anymore? Are they gone from DAL? I don't know. I wish you'd fucking, one of your goons actually would try to get in touch, so I could just be like, I might consider this. You're the one who wants to debate, Kent, not me. Chug soda just to get in more indignant with Kent. Trust me, I chug soda like a goddamn drunkard.
Joseph, 855 Big Dino, extension 4, to schedule the debate. Talk is cheap. It takes money to buy milk. Yeah. Our ministry will pay $300 toward tickets for you and your wife to fly over and spend a few days at DAL and have the debate live. Take a vacation, Dan. You've been working hard.
Hey, I didn't say he'd like it.
Okay. If any of you want to contribute to Dan coming over for a debate, call Bobby. 855 Big Dino, extension 1. She doesn't know anything about this. I Googled real quickly. It's about $900 a piece from London to Pensacola. Maybe some of you got Sky Miles. You want to donate a trip from London. I'm assuming London's the closest for him there. I don't know where he lives, someplace in England. So, Dan, you said you would debate me one time. I will pay $300 toward tickets, about 900 total.
I could just do it over the fucking internet, you dumb cunt.
Now, Dan, you probably made enough money off YouTube from your nearly 20 shows you've done about me to buy your own tickets, but our offer still stands. 855 Big Dino, extension 4 to schedule the debate, extension 5 to reserve a cabin. Can't beat it, can you? Yeah. So if you want to contribute, it may never happen, but if you want to be on the line to be called on to contribute if we need to, call Bobby, 855 Big Dino, extension 1. Joseph, you're going to tell her about that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, you fucking suck.
Not a lot. It's a slow night. There's a bunch of
Good evening. Hello. Good evening. What's the best cider application where I can view your videos? I will pay
Grungvaldi, good question.
for it. I want to support your mission. I prefer streaming. I don't know, Joseph.
the best place.
Wow, the tech illiteracy of these people. Which is the best cider application where I can view your videos? I don't know. You're on Facebook, so that seems to be a pretty good place where you're watching something live. He advertises his stupid Kenhoven.tv all the fucking time, so maybe your retarded ass can look at that, Jeremy. Yeah, I'm being an asshole. I don't fucking care. This guy likes Ken Hovind. He's a fucking idiot just like the rest of them. There's nothing to pay for. All the stuff is free since he realized he was lying about saying, oh, it's $1 a year. And it's like, no, it's not. It's $5 a month. Pay to support the mission. How about you just fucking donate his stuff? Prefer streaming? It's all streaming by definition. Streaming doesn't mean what you fucking idiots think it means. Every bit of internet video is streaming by definition because that's how the video is transferred as a data stream. Okay. I would get into octets for you and some of the nuances of headers and the way data streams and connections are kept alive, but it would blow your mind and you'd think it's of the devil. When or not flat earthers or Atlantis-obsessed nut jobs, Hovind attracts even equally idiotic people. Yes, I'm being an asshole. I don't fucking care. Don't like it? Go somewhere.
Place to be either try the app, Kenhoven.tv, because we'll never get kicked off there.
Okay, KentHovind. TV is the app. It costs us $6,000 a year to have that app.
No one cares. No one fucking cares. No one cares how much you fucking spend.
We let everybody come on for free. If you want to help pay for that, please do. Please do. That about broke us this year, first time. Anyway.
Oh, get the fuck over it. You could have done it for a lot cheaper if you knew how to actually had tech people who were competent and knew how to fucking pay for good service. Sorry, Joseph. I don't mean you per se.
Thank you, Jeremy. Hope that helps. God bless you, brother, from New Zealand. Hey, I never got there. I got to Australia, but you got some heathen over there is what I hear. So go get them. Fix them.
Last I checked, people in New Zealand don't really give a fuck about Australia and vice versa. I could be completely wrong on that. But I also think New Zealand's doing fine just chilling on its own. And they've got, oh fuck, what's the company? Fuck, what's the company that launched the Electron booster? You know, it's reusable rocketry that isn't bullshit. Whichever company it is, they're fucking awesome.
Right here.
When did Dan say also people don't know how to have babies? Well, he said the lactose tolerance gene allows.
I'm also glad people on his own side will call him out on some of his phrasing sometimes. Hopefully they will realize how full of it he is, how stupid he is, and stop following his ass.
Them to go back and look at it about the from 7 to 8, 9.
Rocket Lab, that's the company that launches Electron in New Zealand. Rocket Lab. Fucking love Rocket Lab.
Minute mark. I can go back and call up on my slides here what he said exactly. Now let's see. I tried to get his closed caption working here.
Look, I'm just saying, if you lived in Middle Earth, you would be obsessed with a really nice viewing deck as well. That's my take on it.
Is that where it's at? Let's see. Lactose persistent mutation had higher reproductive success in dairy farming areas.
Yes. Do you understand English, Kent? People with that trait had a higher success rate at living and reproducing in those areas where dairy farming was prominent because it provided an additional nutrition source. It is not that hard to figure out. I fucking worked it out and was able to articulate it. If I can, and you're supposed to be so much smarter than me, then you should certainly be able to figure it out. But obviously, you're either too stupid or too dishonest to understand it. And I don't know which one it is, but pick a lane, old man, and stick to it.
So if you got cows, it teaches you how to have babies better.
Okay. Hang on. I have to make note of this, all right? I need to excerpt this and make it its own thing because this shows how fucking stupid Kent is.
I guess. You were to go back and listen to it. What was that? 7 minutes, 45 seconds, somewhere in there. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I know, Soot. I'm just playing along.
Flying to Christopher Tucker.
Oh, I know the answer to this.
Okay. What's your favorite Bible verse? Boy, Joshua 24:15. If it seems evil to you to serve the Lord, you choose what you want to do. I'm going to serve the Lord.
Yeah, serve Lord Yamato. Go on, Kent, do it. You got $6,000 a year for your stupid TV channel, as you call it. You can toss a few thousand my way. Hey, if you donate to the GoFundMe and get it topped up, Kent, I will stop doing videos on you. I'm not kidding either. Just like if Elon Musk was to give me 10K, I would never talk bad about him again. I'll do it. You want to go that route, Kit? Someone let him know. Let him know if he donates 3K to the GoFundMe. I'll stop doing videos on him. I can find someone else to laugh at. Easy. I'll just leave it to everyone else to continue doing videos just as nature intended. I came in and upset the balance. I'm the troublemaker here. But someone let Kent know. I'll just stop.
Chose that as my life verse 56 years ago.
Because then I could devote my free time when I get bored to other projects for all my lovely equipment that's been rotting away in storage for 3 years.
I love Proverbs too. God bless from Fireball, California. I lived in Fairfield, California. I'd never heard of Fireball. But anyway, thank you. Appreciate that. And if you want to help, we've had some really big expenses the last 2 months. We're just down to close to zero. So please call 855-BIG-DINO or just donate online.
Oceanus, thank you. I was beginning to presume that from lactose thing, but I didn't want to open foot, insert mouth. Yeah, we'll go with that. Open mouth, insert foot. Yeah. Yeah. Forget what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. I didn't want to make myself look like more of an idiot than I already do and just presume it outright. And I didn't have time to look it up. So thank you for verifying.
Couple of major expenses took us down pretty far. Okay. Lactose tolerance is not an.
They were saying that their screen just went.
Well, 10K would resolve any and all pressing issues in my life. And if those were no longer something, I would be doing pretty good for myself because I have very basic needs. I have very particular interests that can be well budgeted for. So I'd be doing pretty good in life, honestly. So that's why I say 10K for elongated muskrat to make me no longer hate him. And just because he doesn't like Cheeto Mussolini anymore does not in the slightest mean he's at all any way viewed better to me. No, no. My hatred of him went long before his right-wing bullshittery. I've hated that man for a decade now. Even at the time when I liked SpaceX, I didn't much like Musk. And then that stopped 9 years ago, me giving a damn about SpaceX.
Blue. I don't know what happened. That must have been on Restream.
My screen went blue.
Pluto Pilot's in. Anyone talk to him?
Does that mean they're still listening?
He's in the studio.
Who's in studio?
Pluto.
Yeah, the whole 10K thing, it isn't a matter of sticking it to Musk. It's actually a reasonable value that someone like him would just toss out for the memes. And not just be like, well, okay, shit.
Pluto Pilot. Okay. Well, bring them in. Wow.
Thank you.
Any headphones?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Hello, Pluto Pilot. Interesting name. Yes, how can I help?
Oh, well, one way that the lactose intolerant can, and lactose tolerance can be beneficial. Many armies that where the soldiers could consume dairy products, such as the Mongols, they consumed a lot of.
Oh, something to bring up is that our friend right here, Pluto Pilot, is in AJ's Discord. Posted some nice stuff recently. There's been some discussion about Hoven's narcissism, lack of remembering people, etc. Cool guy. I mean, what can you say? We've got a community of awesome people. And then there's me.
Dairy. They could live off the product of their animals without having to slaughter them. And that gave them an advantage over their enemies.
Yeah, this is true, Seth. This is very true. That 10K split between the two of us would do plenty.
Who often, they got to the point where they starved.
Right. You're missing.
Here we go. You're missing the point. That's always what Kent says. Whenever anyone's making a point, he says you're missing the point. That's another sign you're winning.
Point. Is the lactose tolerance gene not switching off like it normally does? Is that adding information?
Technically, yes. In that instead of being told to be on and go off, it's on and stay on. Instruction changed. On, then off. No. Scratch. On, then on. That's new.
The information for...
Depends on how you look at it. Depends on how you define information. And that's why we don't like it, because it's a slippery ass term, you dumb fuck. An analogy used so that people could understand the nature of DNA and gene encoding has been usurped, mutated, and perverted by you ass clowns into what you're doing right now.
...is already there to digest the lactose. That's what you guys aren't getting.
Nothing. That wasn't the title. It said, is like the mutation. Is it beneficial? In this case, it's beneficial. Anytime it provides an advantage.
A damn good point from Pluto Pilot is that his very statement of it's not a beneficial mutation is wrong, because it is, and that's all that his title in this stream involves. That's all there is to it. So, yeah. Words. I can't English, but again, lactose tolerance is not an example of beneficial mutation. Well, that is wrong, Kent. And yes, I just uttered out random syllables there. In that, yes, it is beneficial. Whether it's an on-off, new information or whatever is irrelevant to your claim. Welcome to fucking around and finding out from the logical side of things, Kent. You got owned by just the phrasing of your own statement.
A survival advantage, then it allows a whole new food supply open to a person, rich in calcium, rich in vitamins.
I drink a lot of milk, but like Dan said, like I told Dan in the discussion that he was playing off of my video. Nobody's seen a beneficial mutation, listen to me, that adds information.
Kent, we've been listening to you say the same shit for fucking forever now.
Not shutting a switch off is not adding information.
Well, first
that is completely fucking irrelevant.
First of all, you would have to quantify information and give units of what information would be.
Let me guess.
And
Let me guess. You believe in evolution, don't you?
Ken, let's stick to the subject, please. Yeah, you know I believe in evolution. We've talked before.
I guess I don't remember that, but go ahead.
Okay.
Of course you don't, because that's another trait of narcissism, is that you're not going to remember anything that is most things that don't directly involve you, that aren't the critical things you need to feed your ego, because you're pathetic. Which is funny. It means the fucker probably wouldn't remember me or my channel or anything, if I showed it to him directly, but still.
So, when you say, "Oh, it doesn't add information," it is literally non-informative of what you're saying, because you give no idea of what information, air quotes, means, because you haven't quantified it, and there's no units.
Let me explain it to you. The kids in school are taught this very chart, that an amoeba or some kind of single-celled creature turned into a whale and an elephant and a human. Do whales have things that amoeba do not have, like bones?
But Kent, the amoeba doesn't have anything that the whale doesn't also have. In one sense or another. That's the beauty of it.
Oh, that's a lot to...
The key diagnostic characteristics. Not that this is even an amoeba anyway. See, I ended up slipping and fell for Kent's thing. The original predecessor to the whale that is a single-celled organism. Not an amoeba, but what you wish to call an amoeba. The things that make it what it is are diagnostic traits that still apply to all of its lineage, including whales.
It takes a lot of new information to make bones, all the digestive system. To go from an amoeba to a whale or a human would have to add trillions of bits of information. Where did the new information come from? Lactose tolerance is not adding anything. So pick another one. What's your next best mutation?
Okay, first of all, this is like the third time.
Oh shit, Tyler, so that's you. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool, thanks. Good to know. Haha.
We are not in the clade of
We're all, me, you, and a lot of people in this side of things are gonna have to chat. Like just get and have a big chat one day, just something fun, maybe a big Discord hangout. I don't know.
amoeba. Humans did not descend from amoeba. The only clade that we share in common is eukaryota. We're both eukaryotes. You can look it up.
I love that. Like, you can look it up just like Kent does. Or you can read all this on yourself. You can see it on my DVD number 5. It's like, here, Kent, do some research of your own. As he holds up his chart and has a disgruntled look on his face. Look at how pathetic this man looks right here.
Whales.
Hey, just look
humans,
at this.
No animal. We did not come from amoebas. So
what a fucking child. Nuh-uh, look at the chart.
What single-celled creature is a eukaryote that we came from? Would you prefer a bacteria or which single-celled creature?
A bacteria is a prokaryote. It is not a eukaryote.
Which
so
eukaryote?
Ooh, a critical point that I completely forgot. Yeah, bacteria are prokaryotes, not eukaryotes. Big difference.
Single-celled creature is eukaryotic that would fit the bill. What should they put on this chart? Because this chart is in many of the published textbooks. It shows a single-celled creature of some kind. And again, you're straining at a gnat and swallowing a camel. The single-celled creature, whatever it was, turned into everything. This is what they're telling the kids. You believe this chart should be taught to the kids in school?
Again, it would be a protist of some type. And as I've already said before, if we do not share common ancestry with single-cell creatures, organisms, then it would show in the constrained area of the genome. And you would have a cutoff line where you say, oh, it's the philology challenge. Where is the cutoff?
You want to start with the
My God, he's holding up that damn chart like it's the fucking Olympic torch and he's trying to run it through East Arlen.
protist, because it is a eukaryote. As
Then, much like Hank, he trips over himself. Super chat from Marty. Thank you so very much. Sending some love with a couple of bucks. Win-win.
the cell membrane is bound in a the cell is bound in the nucleus is bound in a membrane. So I'll
Correct.
give you a protist, okay? A protista, to turn to a whale, is going to have to add lots of information, like the information to make bones, the information to make flippers, eyes. Protists don't have eyes, don't have ears, don't have nose, don't have mouth. They don't have any of those things. You'd have to have trillions of bits of information be added to the protist to turn it to anything other than a protist. Humans have arms, eyes, legs, lots of things that protists don't have. Where did this new information come from? Dan claims it came from mutations, and he gives lactose tolerance as an example. I simply pointed out lactose tolerance is not an example of adding information. What's the best example you know of any creature adding information because of a mutation?
Well, we went over this before. We look at chlamydomonas. I feel like we're having the same conversation over.
Say it again, Pluto. That's how the Kent rat race works. You always think you have a chance of getting somewhere. Then it turns out you just wind up in the same damn circle. Hey, we do it to sharpen ourselves. At least that's why I do this.
We had last week. Chlamydomonas, it went.
I feel like I haven't had a reasonable intellectual challenge. Well, I mean, I still don't have one with Kent, but at least it gives me a reason to articulate myself that isn't arguing with Nimrods on Twitter and Facebook. No offense, Dr. Nimrod. Like I said, you're the cool Nimrod. You're the Nimrod, not the Nimrods. Nimrod is fun too. It's funny. That's a biblical term
From
or
a
name or whatever.
single cell organism to multi-cell organism within a very short.
No, hold it.
Yeah. You have specialized cells, and you have a membrane that is brand new that encapsulates the.
That reminds me, I needed to do part 3 of their interactions, Kent and King Crocoduck. And yeah, the Lightyear thing is fucking hilarious. And he's still getting it wrong constantly. Not understanding what the actual meaning. Like, he gets the meaning, but he doesn't understand what the meaning means.
The new organism. And when it reproduces as a multicell organism. And if any one of the cells of the multi.
I've got to read what AJ put here. Define information, neck flap. Love it.
Cell chlamydomonas break away. They cannot survive on their own. In a colony, they can, but they cannot in this case. So it is a true multicell organism. There's mutations for the extracellular membrane. I mean, it's going from single cell to multicell in that fashion is a great example of even macro evolution.
Gordy, yeah. Should try to find a copy of that and go into detail. Us look over that. That would be fun. Probably looking over all of his stupid charts and stuff.
So I'll have to do another Whack an Atheist on that topic. Let me make some notes here. Single cell to multi-cell.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Watch him never do it, because chlamydomonas. That's how you pronounce it. I can't remember. I've lost the ability to speak worth a damn. And by that, I mean I've never been able to talk worth a damn. Man, I need to look into that my own self. Because I need to brush up on Clammy there. Because that's some fascinating stuff. And whenever I've got time, I never think about it.
And that's the example
And
you're giving.
we've seen it in real time.
So therefore, that's what happened to all of them? Or is it a one-time example? Because it would take a whole lot more than one time to turn a protist into.
Well, we know that it can happen. In other words, there is a evidence that this is a possibility. So that's the first thing that you have to show. But
So
you have
therefore, we
not.
should require it to be taught to everybody as fact. We should require everybody to believe they are related to a whale and a giraffe because of the one time you see a single-celled creature not just becoming a colony, which many do, but you think it actually became a multi-celled unit, a creature. Okay, I'll do some research on that. Put together.
Well, Nimrod, at this stage, I'm just running with the joke because it's funny you come in right after I call Kent a Nimrod, and it's like, damn it. It's like the Ren and Stimpy joke of Dr. Stupid. Hell, I should make that my name when I debate Kent. I should just call and say that I'm Dr. Stupid. Actually, shit, there's an idea right there. Or, ooh, how about this? How about I repeatedly schedule debates with Kent and go by a different identity each time and see how long it is before he realizes? That'd be funny.
Some slides.
There's not just you can't take one particular piece of evidence and say, okay, this proved that. What that shows is that single cell can go to multi-cell.
Gordy, if I could see where the fuck, I would look a little more closely. But I'm gonna be honest, stuff's a fucking blur. Like I have to get really close. Still can't even quite make out what's in this black square here. Biblical creation, the day of the Lord. Yeah, and like I know kind of what it has on it, but I haven't looked at it in that kind of detail.
Okay, there is a plethora of evidence to get to Protus to well.
It does not show that they did. You're saying it shows that they can. This is why I say evolution is a religion. You believe that.
Oh yeah, Go Fucker's Guide to the Galaxy. That is what it is.
That is enough evidence to convince you to believe that you have a protist as an ancestor, and we should be required to all pay to teach that to all the kids to learn that on one bit of evidence. Dan thought lactose tolerance was a bit of evidence for a beneficial mutation. I just tore that one apart.
I'll have to look into that, Gordy. Like seriously, I will try to remind me, or I'll try to remember to look into that chart more, because that is some crazy shit. There we go. Everyone say hi to the yawning. That means I'm tired of Kent's crap. Let's continue.
I'll check on your.
I just explained about the armies being able to survive on the, and entire civilizations, a whole new food source open to them, and very nutritional, high in calcium.
I love milk.
But okay, good for you.
You didn't get it. That was a switch that got broken. It didn't.
Good for you. Love it.
Add a switch.
It was a mutation. It was a mutation, and it added a benefit.
Okay, it did not.
That's it. That's all it is, Kent.
Add information. Babies.
Now the criteria is add information. I got some information right here for you. I'm pointing a finger up in the air. I'm waving it like I just don't care. You
already have the ability to digest lactose. The
you
switch
have not quantified. A term in science has no function, no use, unless it can be quantified, and you have units.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Kent Hovind actually believes. When two amoebas love each other very much, they combine information, and then a stork amoeba delivers a baby amoeba. And they grow up, get married, have kids.
To measure it by. Information, I guarantee you, is not a term that you have quantified, or you have no units. It is therefore useless. It is something that you use in casual
Yeah, I'm considered Kent as functionally illiterate.
Conversation. Take it to an academic setting.
Did I say considered or convinced? Because I feel like I said I'm considered Kent. Or I'd consider, I don't know anymore. I'm tired. I didn't realize this stream was going to be this long.
And, they'll laugh you out of the auditorium because it's not useful.
All right, I got people waiting. I will do some research on this, and I'll try to do Wackanetheus just on that one.
You will do no research.
Cell going to multi-celled creatures, not colonies. Okay? Thank you for calling. Who else we got there? Got Christopher?
Yes. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Christopher.
Okay. I just wanted to let you know, I mean, I am a young Earth creationist, and I pretty much agree with everything I've seen from you.
Okay.
There's just one thing that I think might be misrepresented, and I wanted to ask you about it.
This is going to be good.
Um, it's about the geologic column. So you always ask the atheist, you always ask them, where did the top layer come from? Where was all this dirt sitting for all these years? But they always explain to you that they agree with you that the particles and the material is the same age. They agree with you that no matter if it's 6,000 or 6 trillion, they do agree that the material is the same age. They're just telling you that when you take your deck of cards and you ask if the top card's younger, it would be like if you took a card and set it down, and then like a million years later you put another card down, and a million.
Don't worry, I didn't know what Icaria was till, at least I certainly didn't remember, if I did know in the past, was until R and Ra brought it up in the pine trees and elephants element of their discussion on non-sec. I've learned a lot from R and Ra. And that's only because to be honest, I don't find a lot of broad subjects in biology all that interesting. I've grown to have an interest in them now, partly being involved in this debate sphere. I hate justifying it with that term, but that's what it is. This level of back and forth bullshittery. Combined with the fact that R and Ra makes it so damn interesting with his sheer passion for taxa. It makes me care about other subjects because they're all related. So, yeah.
Years later you put another card down. Well, all the cards are the same age, but they're saying, which I don't think this is the case, but they are saying they think the layers are not different ages, but they were laid at different times. So they don't.
Yeah, but how do they know? How do they know when they know by the fossils it contains?
Well, no,
But
no, no.
oh, yeah.
I really do think the layers were formed in the flood, but I'm saying that they're not saying that the material are different ages. They're saying that
About tree fitty. After the government took its cut, government came and took my money.
that the layers were positioned, or the layers were.
And yeah, that's what's really interesting is that this guy, a Hovendite, a young Earth creationist, he gets the aging of layers. He gets the principle. So that shows that they're not all absolute idiots. Some of them can think for themselves. And that's a good start.
Laid at different times is what they're saying, which I don't think that's the case. But I'm just saying that they're not saying that the material are different ages.
I understand what they're saying. But
Yeah.
if they agree, all the dirt in the world, all the dirt in the universe is the same age. They're telling me they know when it was placed here. How do they know that? By the fossils it contains.
Yeah, Gordy, a lot of it stemming from Christianity really does make you think.
Date the layers by the fossils, then they turn around and date the fossils by the layers. It's complete circular reasoning.
No, it's not, Kent. And notice that he's got a guy who is on his side, but he's bringing up just the layer aging, and Kent can't do anything but run his script. He can't even talk to this guy differently, given that he's on his side, and dude's trying to tell him that. It's insane. And Hoven's always been like this. It's just before his first before his time in prison, we didn't have the ability to really diagnose this way, to tear this apart this way in real time, video back and forth, because YouTube was in its infancy when this ass clown got thrown in jail and should have fucking stayed there.
I agree with that. I just had heard you a few times say, like almost like you thought they were saying the material was different ages or the particles were different ages, but they know it's all age.
You say that. They will say the Cretaceous layer is, there it is. Cretaceous was put down, let's see, 65, or let's take a Jurassic, okay, 199 million years ago. How do you know? Because it contains dinosaur bones. How do you know the dinosaur bones are 199 million years old? Because it's in the Cretaceous layer.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Circular reasoning. They don't. If they see it, they don't admit it. See,
Yeah.
they like the idea of not having God tell them what to do. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I know.
Except that's totally not it at all. Additionally, you guys have, quote, God telling you what to do, unquote, and yet you all do horrible shit all the fucking time. It's almost as if it doesn't fucking matter. Also, your God's a piece of shit character, and there's much better deities out there proposed to worship. And, you know, if you gotta pick something, people can do a lot better than that. So, fuck off on all accounts, Kent.
All right. Well, thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Hey, look who it is. AJ. Hell yeah. Everyone say hi to AJ on the video. Hopefully AJ's still hanging out in the stream, but if he had to duck out, that's totally cool. It's your boy AJ being a fucking badass. I mean, look at him. Dude looks cool no matter what. Fucking love AJ.
Who's next, Joseph? Is this Mr. Patterson?
Who's this guy? Come on.
Oh, thank you for. Are you going to come visit Dinosaur Adventureland?
Maybe. Can you hear me?
We'd love to have you. I pray for you.
Can you hear me, Ken?
Yes, I can hear you. Yep, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. So, your question about beneficial mutations adding information. I mean, I have an answer for that, but I'd love for you to maybe define what you mean by adding information or information in that sense.
Okay, let's just pick a number because I don't know what the right number. Let's say it takes 4 million lines of code to tell the body to produce an arm.
DNA is not code, you fucking idiot.
Probably takes way more than 4 million lines of code. Just like a computer takes X number of lines of code to tell it to move the cursor or, you know.
This just in, stupid old man takes analogies literally and runs with it for 30 plus years. Film at 11.
Whatever it's doing. There are lines of code required to move, to build and make an arm. Protista don't have any of those. They don't have arms. Where did all this new information come from to tell the protista to grow an arm to slowly become a human? Not just an arm, but an eye and a nose and a zillion other things. It would take probably trillions of lines of code to be added to change a protista to a human. I object to this chart being called science. It's a propaganda poster is all it is. Nothing, it's a religious poster. It's to make the kids believe, wow, it's true, I saw a line connected. They're telling us that a protista turned to everything. Lots of information would have to be added for each type of life form, whether it be an octopus or a sponge or an amoeba or a shark. Where's this new information coming from? The example Dan gave of lactose tolerance is not adding anything. It's not shutting a switch off. The switch was there.
Let's focus on that example.
Okay.
So, our friend AJ here, one topic at a time is what he just did to Kent. Played that Uno reverse trap card, baby. Yeah.
The lactase tolerance mutation, the way that it's adding information is that it's the DNA sequence. It didn't just mutate randomly. It's changing in a way that changes the gene's behavior. So the genome has, you know how DNA has instructions on how to build a human. The genome is now having a.
Now, what's interesting is I don't totally disagree with the idea of calling it instructions. Although that feels a little loaded, that's a little bit better than doing the code analogy, if only slightly. Not to criticize AJ at all, just since you rarely hear it ever brought up in that way.
A new regulatory instruction that says keep the lactase gene turned on in adults.
And that phrasing right there is why I accept conditionally calling it instructions. Because at some points it is effectively that.
No, it does not. You got it wrong. They already
No, it doesn't. You got it wrong. You're just wrong because I'm Hovind and I'm the arbiter of what's right and wrong.
had the gene to digest lactose. The babies all have it. The gene tells it to shut that switch off. And that's broken. That's not new information. It's a loss. It's a loss of information.
No, well, that's a new instruction that came from that mutation happening. It wasn't there before, so that's new functional heritable information.
So does that? I don't understand how you can't see this. That's not. It's not shutting a switch off. That's not new information. It doesn't go in and say don't shut the switch off. It just forgets to shut the switch off. There's not any new information. The information for
the suppression of the gene, the suppression of the shutdown is new information by any criteria you seem to obsess over. It's not a hard concept, Kent. Obviously, you're just too stupid to get it, which is funny because it's your own damn condition you're obsessed with. So I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should go seek mental help.
For the switch was already there, and it didn't get tripped when the
No,
kid
it wasn't. No, it wasn't. The gene has a new regulatory instruction that says to keep the lactase gene turned on in adults, whereas it didn't before. And the reason that this is beneficial is because there are environments where people might not be able to get access to food very easily, and milk is a good source of calorie and vitamin D and other nutrients.
I love it.
Well, you can't not listening. I understand. You don't understand shit, Kent. AJ is on fire with this. Love it. Love it. And it's nice knowing that my ramblings earlier are indeed matched by someone else addressing this to Kent directly. And who else but our friend AJ? So good.
So I'd like you to study this a little further, and you come on. Let's have a debate on this. Do you think that?
Yeah, you may already be gone, but much love, Nimrod. Dr. Nimrod, not this Nimrod on the left. We will catch you next time, my friend.
That not shutting the switch off as the creature ages, which happens in some cultures, mostly European, like they showed. Chinese can't do it. Okay.
Happens in some cultures. It's an ethnic thing, Kent. It's a genetic thing. It's not a cultural thing. It isn't like Norwegians just decided, yeah, we're going to turn this switch off, turn the off switch off on forever or whatever. And the Italians were like, nah, we're gonna not do the lactose thing. No, it isn't anything like that, buddy. Not at all. The fuck, Kent.
1% of Chinese. You think that is adding information? I think you're totally mistaken.
Well, if somebody is lactose intolerant and they have a mutation that then allows them to be able to drink milk, then that is a change, and that's because of a mutation, and that mutation is giving these new instructions in the genome. So that's where the new information is.
I would bet that
it didn't already have it.
Right. Babies, as far as I
Good point, Grunwald. Yeah, he did. Lying ass Hovland.
know, all of them can digest milk. All humans can digest milk as babies. They get to a certain age when they should be weaned off, and now the switch does not get tripped. So they can no longer digest the milk. They used to be able to.
No, it's not code. It's not. Get over it. Okay?
You're totally mistaken. It is not adding. I know you're desperate for evidence for your religion. I know you are, and it bothers you that I tore this one apart tonight. But get somebody in the comments. Give your comments. Am I the only one seeing it? It already had the genes to digest lactose.
It's not true. It's not true that all babies can digest milk. It's rare, but some are lactose intolerant.
Theological constraints are irrelevant. It is, by any definition, not code. It's chemicals doing what chemicals do. That's simple. Keep talking. You want to be here. Keep talking. Don't let the community take the trash out. It seems like you just want to derail things, and we ain't having that shit.
Tolerant.
At birth.
Start your own damn YouTube channel with blackjack and hookers.
Birth.
Yeah, when they're babies.
What do they drink to grow then? They can't chew a
Or
hamburger.
they formula.
So special formula.
Yeah, Infamil.
Okay, I'll have to do some research on that. But even then, that would be a switch not getting shut off. It's not, it's just a switch that's broken. Maybe it could be broken at birth or before birth. I don't know. But still, it's not adding information. How can they not see it?
Well, okay. Before I go, like, what do you mean by information, though?
Well, the lines
Or
of
what would be an example of adding information from a
okay,
mutation?
if a protista, which has no arms, suddenly got the complex DNA code to grow arms, functional arms that it could use and sew or knit with, okay, or pound with. That would take a lot of new information for a protista to grow arms or legs or eyes or nose or hair. It doesn't have that. There's a lot of information.
I'm asking for a definition of information.
Guess I've never been asked that question. Knowledge or the instructions on how to build something. Does a protista have the instructions in its code to build arms? No. Do humans?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, but not until it becomes multicellular. So a single-celled organism, it can't grow arms. It's gonna, it would have to grow. So your example is ridiculous then.
Yep, because you're going to have a lot of intermediate stages going on. It's all simple, successive additions, modifications, what have you, whatever phrasing particularly applies best. Either way, things change, and it ends up proving better for the organism, for the population of that organism on a whole. It's that simple.
You're admitting that.
Constant successive adaptations, one on top of another on top of another.
Protista do not have the lines of code, the information to grow arms. Humans do. The moment they're conceived, they already got that information.
Yeah, but they might have the information to eventually develop into a full human body, but you're not going to see a single-cell protista sprout an arm. That's just ridiculous. That's all I'm saying.
The chemicals aren't as specific as you make them out to be. A lot of different DNA sequences will code for similar proteins, similar amino acids, what have you, many of which actually have several analogs that would function just as fine in for the purposes that they would and do between certain species and the like. It's certain evolutionary branches. It is not what you think it is. And again, if you're trying to derail and take over, you want to make things into something, you want to argue, that's a thing that's no bueno in the chat. Even, trying to be like this, we don't do the preaching, we don't do this kind of crap. So, I mean, if you want to be taken out like trash, feel free. You've been welcome up to this. Might want to actually read into the details on this shit.
That's my point. They don't
And
have
and you're making an intentionally ridiculous example because that would never happen. And so you're saying the only way to prove this thing to me that I'm asking for is to show something that we both know will never happen. It's just that's why I said you're stacking the deck. You've got your thumb on the scale, Kent. You're asking for something that's completely.
It's reading way too deep into a particular phrasing and drawing improper analogies to try to imply explicitly something in the same way as an artificial construct. It's not. It's a deceptive-ass tactic, and we're calling it out as such. If you're going to defend it, you can be taken out with the rest of the trash, because you're not welcome here.
Unfair. You're saying, show me this ridiculous thing that'll never happen, and that's the only way that I'll accept proof of my question. And that's slimy. It's slimy.
A protista turned into an octopus. Would you agree octopus have some bodily features that protista do not have? Would you agree that humans have some bodily features which requires information to build that a protista doesn't have? They're telling the kids the protista turned into all of this. I'm saying,
and I've already taken care of things. If
this is propaganda. This isn't.
If there's anything else in the trash chat or anything else popping up chat, go on and take out the trash yourself. But I think I took care of it on YouTube. I never said I was the arbiter, but this is a constant tactic used. It will be called out because it is dishonest. So get the fuck over it.
Science, but you guys want to think it's science. Lactose tolerance the gene not getting switched off, forgetting to shut off the light, is not explaining how the switch got there, how the light got there, how the wiring got there, how the electricity.
Kent, one topic at a time. AJ's only talking about the lactose tolerance / intolerance gene. One topic at a time, Hovend.
Got there. You guys, I think it's hopeless, AJ, but you're not getting it.
Well, you know the
Hey, AJ. Hopefully you're still in the chat. If you debate Hovend again, see if you'll do it on my channel. Because I would love to handle some moderation on something like that. I would just absolutely love to.
the single cell organism at the bottom of the family tree you're showing is not a protista. It's not
Oh,
the
what was it?
earliest single-celled organism that ever existed. It's it's Luca. It's the last universal common ancestor. So you're
Well, that-
talking about you got two things mixed up here, Ken.
Okay, you're calling it Luca. That does not tell. Was it a protista? Was it an amoeba? Was it a paramecium? What single pilot wanted it to be a protista? That's why I said that. What would you like this one to be?
The point I'm making is just that it's not the earliest single-celled organisms that ever existed. It's
Well,
much more modern than that, and they're more developed and complex than that. So
what should go at the bottom of the family tree? What started all this? Who's your great grandpa down here, AJ?
see that the question you're asking is that's not the very, very earliest single-celled organism.
What was? I'm asking you to tell me what was. You believe this stuff, and you think we should all be required to teach it to everybody. So I think I have a right to know. Who's your grandpa?
Again, like that would be the first replicating molecule that ever existed, or replicating molecules, because it wasn't just one. There's multiple that would have developed at the same time. But that protista at the bottom of your chart is not the same thing. It's much more modern than that. So you're asking to like
you got to go way before the protista, way down here. Okay, what was this first self-replicating molecule? To use that phrase, which molecules can self-replicate today?
I think all of them. Anything that's considered alive can self-replicate. Taking food.
Yeah, that is definitional to life.
Molecules before life got started. Which molecules can self-replicate? Can a water molecule just decide to make another water molecule?
No.
Water isn't life, you fucking idiot. Good fucking God. I'm sorry, I have to just take a moment because this is so fucking stupid. Kent is losing what little edge he had. This is fucking ridiculous.
No, none.
How about salt, sodium chloride? Can that just make another molecule?
You're saying before life. You're saying before life started, what was a self-replicating molecule? There was none. That was the first thing that could be considered alive. The first self-replicating molecules on the oceans.
Okay, you want to call it Luca?
No. Luca is the last universal common ancestor of all living organisms. That first single-celled organism was way back, like in the evolutionary worldview, billions of years ago.
Billions of years ago. Yeah, I knew you'd say that. Okay.
Well,
What was the first living organism? What would you call it? It was not a protista. It was not a bacteria. It was not an amoeba. What was it?
I wouldn't know the term for it, but we just call it the first. If you want to call it grandpa, but that's not, that's kind of not taking it seriously.
I don't take it seriously.
I know you don't. It's why you ask questions that are ridiculous.
No, that's why I point out that evolution is ridiculous. You believe.
No, you think it's.
Oh, look at Kent with that shit-eating grin. He's so full of himself. You feeling good there, Kent? You held up your chart for a couple of minutes solid while Pluto Pilot was in, and now you're thinking nuh-uh is a one-up against AJ? What a fucking joke you are.
It's ridiculous.
Okay. Has anybody ever seen any of these creatures have babies that were something? Elephants have babies. Takes 24 months gestation.
Life by Marshall Mathers. Life is like a big obstacle in front of your opticals.
Flies, amoeba, ants, let's see, ladybugs, all these. Do you know of any creatures on this chart? And they have lines connecting all of them. Can you show me an example where any creature ever in the history of humanity has produced a baby that anybody would consider a different kind of animal?
One topic at a time, Kent.
No,
I know it's
and
just-
you
it's
wouldn't
a-
expect that in
Because
evolution.
it doesn't happen. That's why this chart is baloney. It doesn't happen.
Oh.
Nobody expects it. Nobody sees it. Nobody's ever seen a cow produce a non-cow. Nobody's ever seen a whale produce a non-whale or come from a non-whale. But they got the whale coming from a single-celled creature. I object to that.
That
This
doesn't
is
mean that a
propaganda.
whale gave birth to something that wasn't a whale, though.
I didn't say whales always give birth to whales.
I agree.
Whale, whale, whale.
How? Well, then great-great-great-great-grandpa whale produced a baby whale, and great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa had to be a whale because they don't produce anything other than their kind. God said 20 times in the first 7 chapters of the infallible Bible that they will always bring forth after their kind.
The infallible Bible. Dun dun dun.
That is science. That's what we've seen, observed. We got 2 cows going to have a baby up here. I bet you $10. I only got 5. I bet you $5 they're going to have a calf. When our sheep had babies a couple of weeks ago, they turned out to be baby
Oh, Kent, are you going to borrow $4 so you have $10? Are you going to do that one again?
sheep. Our goats have baby goats. Our cows have baby cows. Our chickens have baby chickens. There are simply no exceptions, AJ.
And you
guys
think
can
evolution
imagine-
means that a chicken would give birth to a baby rhino? Is that what you're
No,
saying
I
evolution
did not
says?
say that. No,
Oh,
no, never-
then why did you just say the things you just said? Why do you say we have chickens and the only thing they're ever going to give birth to is a chicken?
Right.
If you're not implying that a chicken would give birth to something else. Do you
Okay.
see how obvious the implication is? You're just lying, Kent. You're
No, let's go back.
lying.
Oh, thank you, AJ. I needed to hear someone just straight call him out on this. I needed that today. And I'm so glad you did last night. Bravo, my friend, as always.
Let's
You
go
don't-
backwards. AJ, instead of going forward, a chicken will not produce a rhino. Did all the chickens we have, did they come from chickens? Yeah. Did their grandpa come from chickens? How far back?
AJ has saint-like patience, but the thing is, you've got to be like that with Kent, lest his crew at Dinosaur Adventureland decide to cut you off, because they're that petty. They just won't let Kent get challenged too hard, because it hurts his itty-bitty feelings.
Back do I have to go backwards in time before it's not a chicken?
When it's jungle fowl.
Okay. Is that still a bird?
Yeah.
How far back?
I see it.
Congratulations, Kent. You're beginning to understand monophily, that chickens are a subset of birds, which are a subset of other animal types that I can't remember offhand because the classifications get pretty damned interesting. Maybe if you studied that stuff, you would be like, oh, wow, all life is related. Oh, wow, the Bible's a total load of shit. I've wasted my entire life.
How far
Chicken.
back
A
does it
chicken
go?
always gives birth to a chicken, but that chicken is going to be slightly different than its parents.
Sure, there's
and-
500
And the grandparents will, and the grandchildren chicken will be slightly different, and so on and so on,
Mhm.
and these slight little differences add up
Mm-hmm.
until eventually you get something that can't interbreed with the previous population, and eventually might get something that seems to us a long time later that these things couldn't possibly be related because they look so different. But that's because there's been such a long time for these small changes to add up. That doesn't mean that a chicken will give birth to something that's obviously different, because evolution is a very slow process, but you don't believe or accept it in deep time. You reject it. So you'll never be able to believe that.
I'll never be able to imagine it. I just can't imagine
No.
it. Right. You guys have the wild imagination.
No, it's difficult to imagine time spans on that long of a time
Right.
period.
Impossible. Okay, so if we had billions of years going back, chicken,
Archaeobacteria, thank you. I constantly forget that, and it should be easy to remember because the name is so perfect.
daddy chicken, grandpa chicken, great grandpa chicken, at some point it was a protista, wasn't it? In your religion, yeah.
It would have shared a common ancestor with that. You don't have a direct line from chicken to protista.
They have a
Right.
direct line from protista to everything on this chart. Here's the protista producing a shark. Here's the protista producing a fish. Protista produced
This just in, old man thinks oversimplified example graphic is exactly what's taught in the books that he supposedly reads, but obviously doesn't, because if he did, he'd understand what's being depicted there is not the entirety of all of evolution.
producing a dinosaur, a sunflower, a human, a lemur, a whale. It's a direct line to
God damn it. Always with the muting.
all of them. You guys
You
don't want
realize
to.
that chart is a much condensed version of how huge the scientific family tree is. It's got millions of forks and dead ends of things that went extinct and didn't produce anything. And I
think what was muted earlier was me acknowledging archaeobacteria. I always forget the name of the earliest life, and it should be easy to remember. I think that's what I was saying when I was muted for that moment.
Take up too much more of your time.
Or was that you saying you were muted, AJ? Sorry, I'm having ADD moments here. Probably the latter than the former.
But I would love for you to define the term produce when you say, this produced this and produced that.
That's to, have a baby. That's something.
Okay, so you're saying that
that's funny, Kent, because define baby. When did animals start having babies?
Each of those animals on that chart gave,
which actually one could argue that was when sexual reproduction became a thing, but I'm not going to get into the here or there.
Birth to the one it's connected to?
Well, if you want to assume the little changes can add up, I would like to point out the variations we do see have limits. They've been trying to...
Oh, there we go with his limiter. Time for him to bring up all kinds of stuff related to outright physics and nothing related to genetics.
You're changing the topic now.
No, they now have a cow that gives 34 gallons of milk a day. That's the world record.
Oh, now it's gallons. He was using pounds. Now it's gallons. And Kent, the sad thing is, as unintuitive as it sounds, you're technically right on the pounds versus gallon thing for the way it's measured on initial gathering, we'll say. And now you're moving to gallons.
Really ridiculous.
34 gallons is the limit. That's the record. Are they ever going to get a cow to give 4 trillion tons of milk a day? No, there's a limit. Dog breeders have been trying to get bigger dogs and smaller dogs. They got one now 4 inches tall, toy teacup chihuahua. Will they ever?
No, Mimer3113. Perfectly fine place to ask. A good question to ask because it doesn't come up too often. Yeah. Ever since a little before Kent got banned from YouTube again, we noticed he was not on Standing for Truth's channel as often. Eric Hovind was on there for a moment, and that had to definitely bring some bitterness. But then when Kent got banned, that was it. We've not seen hide nor hair of Hovind on SFT, and we think that's due to the policies regarding propping up, so to speak, who's been banned on YouTube, making them a focus on a channel in such a way of allowing them a platform to speak is a usage violation. So we think Donnie got smart and is no longer platforming Kent to avoid risks to his channel. He's gotten everything he can out of Kent, and he's moved on.
Get a dog a 1/4 inch tall. No, there's a limit. This is what you guys either don't get or won't admit. There are limits to these variations. Yes, the variations happen. When animals produce babies, they're a variety, but they're still obviously the same kind. A dog and a wolf and a coyote are the same
at some
kind of animal.
God damn it, Rumble. At some point, I need to do videos on Jordan Peterson, but I cannot fucking stand that idiot. He says so much of nothing. It's like dealing with a even whinier voiced Kent.
Not a banana. So the information to change the protista or amoeba or protozoa, whatever eukaryotic single cell creature you want to start with, to change from that to a...
Maria, I'm sorry nobody came to the movie. I need to watch Red October. Honestly, if I was around you and you were playing it, I'd sit there and watch it because I haven't seen it since I was a child. And as a child, I didn't much care for it. And from what I know, it's a pretty damn good movie. So I need to check it out. And AJ, would have been nice to remember archaeobacteria. Would have really mattered. Well, it would have shown that you know what you're talking about. And that's the key thing, because at least someone in the audience who is paying attention might realize, hey, this AJ guy, he's making sense, and they might get curious and look it up. That's the hope. That is always the hope. And you're very welcome, Mimer. Okay, yeah, it took me a second to realize you were talking about that because Joseph is notorious for doing the muting. Yeah. So, okay, thank you. You always get self-conscious, and my habit of muting myself. Yeah, you could tell, if y'all watch this, you can tell AJ gets muted pretty damn regularly, and it's like, come on, Joseph, quit being a dishonest prick. Oh, wait, equal time. Enough job describing himself with his word salad. Yeah, but still. Better Jordan Peterson than that other Peterson. Beta! Jesse Lee Peterson. I forget about that fucker sometimes. So what's the deal with all these Petersons? We got the idiot Jordan Peterson. We got the even bigger beta of Jesse Lee Peterson, who you almost want to like till you realize he's just a complete piece of crap. But then you got someone who so far seems pretty damn cool, like Planet Peterson. And it's just like, what's the deal with all these Petersons? Why are there so many Petersons? Why are there no Smiths? Why are there no Richardsons? Everyone's got the cool ass names, and then there's the Petersons. Hell no. I'm being dumb. That's kind of the MO for my streams. Muted for saying utterly ridiculous. Yeah, and that was funny because you were bringing up Kent's own joke. You were preempting it. And it's just like, no, I got muted. Looking ridiculous. What do you mean by nothing, Mr. Tomato? I mean the space between your ears, Kent. Oh! Interesting question that scientists looking at abiogenesis ask. What is the least amount of genes possible to have in order to have a viable living thing? Also depends on how you classify life, because it's interesting that technically viruses are not alive. Or, i.e., they do not qualify as life. Really interesting. It's a gray area. That was one of the key things that showed me that life did not require anything supernatural. That's my takeaway from it anyway. Thank God we have Kent here to tell us how limited his God is. There are limits to variation, he says. Good point. Double take every time you mention Joseph. That's my full name. Yeah, trust me, I'll always refer to you as Joe. Unless you want me to refer to you as Joseph, in which case I'll try to remember. But no, we're always meaning DAL Joseph, or if there's another Joseph in context, it'll be that one. 15-foot Peterson. Harvard.
Human, you have to add arms, legs, eyes. You have to add lots of things. Protista don't have a
Shut up. I want to hear what the guy on the right has to say.
lot of things that humans have. So why do we have a chart showing Protista connected to a human? Over trillions, quadrillions, quintillions of generations.
There was a time when you were a single cell, Kent, and you have arms now. So.
Oh, I love that one. Because it's true. At some point, we were all just a single cell. And look at us now. Maybe not so that closely. The years have not been kind to some of us. At least me. But it is very true, all joking aside. He wants to talk about single cell, does this, that, and the other, when that is exactly how we develop.
So
right. Now that's
all
a
I'm
good
going to
example.
say.
That single-celled zygote had the code already in the DNA to make arms. The Protista does not. The human zygote, fertilized embryo, has the code. That's why I'm saying, where's this code coming from to add arms?
JP, described by Shakespeare, is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. The play which shall not be named. I ain't doing it here. I ain't risking it. Yeah, that's an accurate description of Kent as well, except it's far more pathetic. At least Jordan Peterson gives off the illusion of having some intelligence.
To the Protista. It doesn't have it. The human embryo does. They already got the code. And the switch to shut off lactose tolerance is not adding information. It's forgetting to shut a switch off. Okay, you guys need to go back and watch this program one more time, maybe 2 more times in your case, and see if you can get it. I just simply pointed out the lactose tolerance that Simon Dan gave is not an example that's going to turn a protista to anything else.
No, but it meets all the criteria for a quote-unquote beneficial mutation. So you're wrong. No one said it had anything to do with long-term evolutionary processes from Luca. We'll go with what AJ brought up. We'll go with the last universal common ancestor, because that's really where you start with the whole tree of life onward to everything we got. It just involves that one trait and the fact that it has proven beneficial to Homo sapiens. That's it. Mr. One Topic at a Time can't seem to keep it at one topic at a time, though.
Because it's only forgetting to shut off a switch that was already there. It didn't add the switch. It forgot to shut it off. I think most of my viewers are getting this.
Well, they tend to believe anything you say, so.
They're all
Burn. Oh, and yeah, he is way less red. And it's a weird, I call it a friendly rivalry, even though it's not. But of course, you're extremely pleasant to Kent, AJ. You speak very nicely to him. And so that goes away. He feels clearly comfortable around you. Which I don't know if that's necessarily good or bad, but that is definitely a thing.
Right. Yeah, let me translate that.
I didn't say they were dumb.
Oh, you're applying that.
Well, no, I just think all I'm saying is you've built a loyal following and they trust what you say. They see you as an authority figure. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing.
Well, I'm right.
You should be,
you know that.
You should be proud of that.
Okay. All right. That's it. Anybody else? I'm ready to go to bed, brother. I've had a long day.
Yeah, that's another thing. The sizes of some of these early protocells and the like, and just life in general at the microscopic level is pretty wild.
AJ, come over here, visit Dinosaur Adventureland. We'll feed you, house you, treat you like royalty, and have a debate if you'd like. Show you real science in our science center. It's pretty cool. We show you our cows. They always have baby cows. Everyone.
I mean, let's just a reminder of mitochondria. That's a whole other fucking organism, or not organism. That's a whole other life form that is in our cells. Your cells have a bunch of little other creatures just chilling like, what up? We live here. And there's a nice symbiosis going on. But that's a whole independent creature. Wild. I mean, how independent a symbiotic relationship really is, yeah. But it was once its own thing. It is separate. It has its own DNA, hence mitochondrial DNA, which is from the egg cell that you originated from, which is why it's always your mother's mitochondrial DNA. It's always passed through the mother, never the father.
Sounds good, Kent.
Okay. Go ahead. Joseph, anybody else?
No, sir, we're good to go.
More comments?
That's viewing, man.
Not only he doesn't know what the first single cell organism, but how about the whole evolutionary process? It's non-existent in the fossil record. Well, I point out, Samuel, there really is no fossil record. There are fossils, trillions of them, but none of them talk and none of them have a date stamped on them. People put them in some kind of order. They make the record and then use that as evidence for the record. The record they created.
Hey chat, y'all want to take out this trash? Because it looks like we got another moron hanging out. Nicholas, don't give a flying fuck about Darwin. Science has moved on past his initial ideas. It's truly irrelevant, and trying to bring it up doesn't fucking matter around here. How about you look at something that's actually, from this fucking decade? Burp. Done. I just took care of it.
It's a court of law. None of it would hold up in an honest court of law. Okay.
I just get these clowns just just come in and think they've got something to say. Why do these idiots think that they're gonna get anywhere with that? Popping into a stream and just going like this, just really. And I'm talking about the person we just had pop up. Just pop the stuff on screen just so it's documented in the stream. It's like, why seriously, Hovenites, creationists, Christians, whatever out there want to come in and just preach or just try to come stuff. If you want to fucking debate, okay, send me a fucking email, agree to my terms, and we'll set up something. My chat isn't the place to debate. My chat isn't some place to come preach. My chat ain't any place except for you, quite honestly, to shut up. Or if you want to if you feel like interacting with the audience, go ahead. But it's on our terms. I don't know how to phrase it any better in a way that you'll actually get. So I guess I got to be kind of a dick about it. But these chode monkeys always come in, especially on these longer streams, and think they're getting somewhere. You're not. You're fucking gnats. More like a bunch of fucking roaches. I see you. I squish your ass. Then I'll leave the corpses lying around to show the others that I mean business. It's like going into Transylvania, and you see bodies on pikes everywhere. You know Vlad Tepes is here. You know he's been here. And you know you fuck around. Shit's gonna get real. Coming this Friday to a theater near you. I don't know. No, it's like the King of the Hill episode though, where Dale thinks he's got rabies, and so he has like the frogs on sticks and stuff. It's like, come on. I don't get it though. I don't do that shit to y'all streams. I don't go on fucking Proverbs Guy and just start talking crap. I don't go into Kent streams and start talking crap. I don't care. There's no need to. If I have something to say, I'll write a piece on it. I'll put it in my stream, or otherwise I'll just discuss it amongst friends. I don't go in and try to interrupt what you're doing. But for some reason, ass clowns always want to come into mine and other streams and do that shit. You can have a differing viewpoint on stuff, but you come in here just doing that crap. I ain't having it. It's that simple. My fucking stream, my fucking rules. Don't like it, go eat a dick.
Let's see. I had 4 kids. Let me check. Kid, and kid. Keep trying, Katie. Keep trying. Where's your guys' museum? Lenox, Alabama, Dinosaur Adventureland. Go straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles, just north of Interstate 65. Get a magnifying glass, a big one, and look for the little bitty town of Lenox, Lenox. 30 people.
Well, or remember, when they get kicked, I mean, they can still be sitting around watching the video. They can still see stuff, I'm pretty sure. So, you can say whatever the hell you want after the fact. If they stick around, they'll see it. They're probably too busy crying or making shell accounts to try to come and whine and be like, oh, boo-hoo.
I think we got almost more on staff here than they got in the whole town.
Close.
Yeah. Just type in Dinosaur Adventureland. It'll pop right up in southern Alabama. Love your work, Ken.
Yeah, AJ, that's a very good point. Being cordial because he lets his guard down. That's honestly, you remember the one time I talked with him, that was my approach too, which I pretty much learned from you. But yeah, as Claude puts here, that's an approach that definitely works, and I will keep it in mind in his future interactions. He has to cross the line for me to just say fuck it.
Hope to see you on Joe Rogan. Me too. A lot of people have contacted Joe Rogan and say, have him on, please do. I would like to be on all the talk shows in the world. I handle any.
Oh, that would be so fucking pathetic. Kent on Joe Rogan. Ugh.
Questions anybody's got. I'm not afraid of anything. Nothing to hide, nothing to be ashamed of.
Afraid of paying your taxes, and you got plenty to hide. Not ashamed of anything? All right. Let's just put your audio out.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Thank you. Appreciate it. Tomorrow, more. If I get time, I'll try to work on this cladominist. What was the one that guy? I'll go back and listen. Clado. I forget how to
Can't even read what he wrote. Pathetic.
spell that. Gee, it's been too long. Anyway, AJ is never going to get it. He doesn't want to be convinced and never will be. That's probably the case. Hats off to Doc. Thank you, but appreciate it. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.
All right, we made it through. God damn, that took 2.5 hours. Would have been more if I'd have just shut up during it, but then that would have been meant we're literally just watching a Kent Hovind video, and we got to add commentary. Right, that has been that. I posted the link to the GoFundMe for the move in the chat. If anyone, just as a reminder, share it. If you're able to donate, feel free. If not, again, the sharing helps. Links and stuff down in the description, Discord, all that jazz. Links to some of the online services I provide, what have you. I am going to just get distracted by soot. Mention Chris Jones and watch his color get more saturated again from shame. Yep. I am going to do that thing where I log off, fire up Guild Wars, complete today's daily, then probably go to sleep because I'm tired. And I'm going to try to wake up early tomorrow so that I can maximize the amount of time I spend doing random crap, like primarily trying to just go on and power through all of the end of the Janther Wilds expansion. Since this is the first weekend since the last quarter of the content released. So yeah, much love as always. Thank you all so much for stopping by. You fucking rock, except for the couple of idiots we had. Y'all have a great night. Catch everyone next time as my chair continues to squeak. While my guitar gently weeps, while my chair continues to squeak. And yes, note to theist lurkers, Darwin isn't our fucking Jesus. I don't give a fuck about Darwin, and I don't give a fuck about Hegel. Just straight up. I don't fucking care. All right? Get that through your goddamn heads. Includes you, Hovind. Don't fucking care about Darwin. Don't fucking care about Hegel. I don't care about any one individual person. I care about what the facts actually are, what the broad scientific consensus is, and how accurate it is shown to be. Which, contrary to what you morons think, is incredibly accurate. But that's a discussion for another time. This stream is done. Much love.